Eric and Evelyn were jamming to their favorite tunes in the car when they inadvertently bumped into another car. As the other driver exited their vehicle, furious about the damage, Evelyn swiftly conjured up a clever plan. She feigned a call from the police commissioner, adopting a serious tone and pretending to discuss the incident with the supposed authority figure. The other driver, seemingly convinced by Evelyn's acting skills, retreated without further ado. Eric burst into laughter once the man drove off, but Evelyn's hands were trembling slightly. "Too close," she whispered, sliding her phone back into her coat pocket. Eric reached over and squeezed her hand. "You're amazing," he said softly. "Seriously, that was next-level genius." She gave him a sad smile. "I had to learn to be clever. Life doesn't leave much room for slow thinkers." They drove in silence for a while after that. The song that came next on the playlist was slow and haunting, one of Evelyn's favorites. She stared out the window, watching the trees blur past, but her thoughts were far away. In that moment, Eric didn't speak. He just let the music wrap around them like a blanket. That was their language, songs and silence. Later that night, after dropping Evelyn off, Eric parked outside his apartment and sat in the car for a while, staring at the dashboard. He had this feeling in his chest, like something important had just happened, or maybe something was slipping through his fingers. He didn't know it then, but he was right. Evelyn's phone went missing 3 days later. It happened on a Sunday, quiet and grey. The rain had just stopped falling, and she had gone out for a short walk by the riverside. She remembered sitting on a bench, watching the water swirl with fallen leaves, thinking about her mother, about a letter she hadn't sent yet, and about the voice message she was planning to record for Eric later that day. She had taken her phone out to check the time. That was the last time she saw it. When she realized it was gone, panic flooded her. She retraced her steps, asked 2 old women sitting nearby, checked the garbage bin beside the bench, but it was useless. Someone had taken it, not just a phone, but her secrets, her words, her heart. To most people, a phone is just a device. But Evelyn's phone held more than photos and texts. It held her voice, hours of voice notes she had never sent. It held her pain, her memories, her unsent letters. It held the truth of a love that was too fragile to speak aloud. She had a folder, hidden beneath layers of apps and fake file names. She called it June. It was for Eric, not that he knew. Inside June were recordings she made after every moment they shared. Sometimes it was her laughing quietly, talking about how he brushed his hair back when he was nervous. Sometimes it was her crying, whispering truths she could never say in person. "I love you," she had once recorded, her voice barely above a breath. "But I know I shouldn't. You're too kind, too good. You deserve someone whole." He never knew about June. He never knew about the journal entries, the poems, the recordings. He never knew that Evelyn, who always smiled and laughed, carried a grief she couldn't explain. Now someone had it all. Eric noticed something had changed when she didn't reply to his messages that night. Then the next day, then the one after that. He called, but the line was dead. It wasn't like Evelyn. She always responded, even with a silly emoji or a song lyric. He drove to her apartment. Gone. The landlord said she had moved out 2 days ago. No forwarding address, no note, just gone. In the days that followed, Eric became a shadow of himself. He stopped playing music. He stopped laughing. He scrolled through their old messages, reread the tiny jokes, the midnight thoughts, the long playlists they built together. "Hey, I know you're probably mad at me," he texted once, even though he didn't know what he had done wrong. "Just, please tell me you're okay." No reply. Sometimes at night, he would whisper her name into the darkness, hoping it would bring her back. Evelyn. Evelyn had left because the phone was stolen. Because everything inside it, the recordings, the letters, the things she didn't even dare to admit to herself, was now in someone else's hands. Someone who could use them, mock them, ruin them. But most of all, she left because she was ashamed. She had always told herself that she could keep those feelings hidden. That if she never said them aloud, they wouldn't hurt anyone. That she could stay close to Eric, love him in silence, and still protect him from the broken parts of herself. But now the silence was shattered. Someone else had heard truths. What if they sent him the recordings? What if he listened? She couldn't bear the thought of him hearing her voice say the words she'd never had the courage to speak. "I want to grow old next to you, even if it's just as a friend. I'm scared all the time. And the only place I ever feel safe is beside you. I've been sick, and I didn't tell you. Because I didn't want you to look at me like I was fading." So Evelyn ran. Eric didn't give up. He searched her name online. Nothing. He tried calling her sister. Disconnected. He even drove past her old workplace. No trace. But one day, a message came. Not from Evelyn, but from an unknown number. No text, just an audio file. Eric stared at the message for a long time before tapping play. It was Evelyn's voice. Soft, hesitant, real. If you're listening to this, then someone found my phone. And maybe they sent it to you as some sort of cruel game. Or maybe they knew you needed to hear this. Eric froze. Evelyn's voice trembled on the recording. I never meant for you to hear any of this. But I guess life doesn't always let us choose. So here it is. The truth. I love you, Eric. I love you more than I've ever loved anything. But I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to feel like you had to fix me. I didn't want to be another weight you carried. Eric's hands were shaking. I left because I was afraid. Because I've always been afraid. And now I think I've lost you. And that's the part that hurts the most. Not the fear, not even the illness, just the silence. The message ended. He played it again, and again, until the sun came up. He started writing letters after that. Every day, one letter. He didn't know where to send them, so he kept them in a box. Dear Evelyn, I forgive you. You were never a burden. Dear Evelyn, I love you too. I think I always did. Dear Evelyn, if you're reading this, come home. Months passed. The seasons turned, but Eric kept writing, until one day, a letter came for him. In handwriting he knew too well. She had found a quiet town by the sea. A little bookstore job. A window that overlooked the water. Inside the envelope was a short note. I'm sorry it took me so long. I've been learning to breathe again. And there was a photo. Of a bench. The one by the river. The one where she lost her phone. On the back, it said, meet me here. Eric went. He didn't know what to expect. But when he saw her sitting there, hair longer, eyes tired but warm, he knew one thing. She had come back, not just to the city, but to him. She stood slowly, unsure. He walked the rest of the way. No words at first, just the power of embrace. Two people folding into each other. Years of silence falling away. He didn't ask questions. She didn't offer apologies. All that mattered was the way they held each other. The way her head fit on his shoulder. The way he whispered, you don't have to hide anymore. And she whispered back, I know. In time, Evelyn told him everything. About the illness, the fear, the recordings. He didn't flinch. He just held her hand and said, we'll face it together. Love, she learned, was not just about feeling. It was about staying, about sacrifice, about pain, yes, but also healing. She never found out who stole the phone. But maybe, in some strange way, it was a gift. A moment that forced the truth into the light. Years later, they still kept a folder called June. Only this time, it wasn't hidden. And it wasn't filled with secrets. It was filled with shared voice notes, birthday songs, quiet poems, and baby laughter. Because Evelyn didn't run anymore. And Eric never stopped choosing her. Even when the world went quiet. Even when it hurt.